Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are
how are
you?
you?
I'm good. How are
Ye-
you?
I am good, thank you.
Ramzan, right? Where are you calling from? India.
I'm calling from India.
Okay. Ramzan, I'm Cheyenne. I'm from London. Good to meet you.
Yes, I'm to you.
So what do you do, Ramzan?
I am a software engineer and working on mobile apps and website development.
Okay, cool. And what sort of software engineer are you?
You mean that specific technology you are talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. Like any particular language or?
Yes, yes. Basically, I am working on React.js, and for mobile development, I am using Ionic React, and for backend API development, I am using PHP.
Okay, I only know PHP. The rest was all alien to me. So anyway, that was too technical for me. Okay, so you sent me a message to help you with interview preparation.
Yes, basically, I have an important question, which is like introduce yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
So, first of all, I am interested to give you the reply of this specific question, and
Yeah.
then after you should correct me, and you should also give me the proper way because if I am facing any interview, then I must have the answer for this. I mean, I should follow some points which I need to keep in mind because I read your profile and there was like a human resource.
Mm-hmm.
So you have good experience, so you can guide me better.
Of course, absolutely. So tell me something about yourself. Tell me what you think you should say.
I am a software professional and working from last. I worked on latest technologies like React.js, Ionic React, and I have my personal website which is keywords.com. And over there, I have developed a lot of free tools which are helping people to do their SEO. And there are some content, useful content tools. And other than that, I have also worked on freelancing platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, and I have my YouTube channel as well. And over there, I upload technical issues, solution of the technical issues, and I also try to help the people who are non-technical. So I am always interested to work in a company where I could work with a team where I'm expecting a good environment where I work with the team and also try to share the knowledge and gain some extraordinary skills like working on latest technologies. So in that way, I can improve myself better, and I am also interested to contribute to the company where I will be working on. And meanwhile,
Mm.
I will be focusing on my self development.
Okay. Something about your interests
Yes.
outside work. Do you have any
Yes, I
hobbies?
am interested. Yes, I have the hobbies of reading books and communicating with the people online. And if there is any technical issue to someone, and I always interested to help them on with the chat or maybe with the video call.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this question, you have a lot of material to include in many
Yes.
answers. Okay. So normally, tell me something about yourself, as you probably already know, is the very first question that they ask. So you go to an interview, and
Yes.
in most interviews, pretty much every interview, they would ask you that question. So this question is like about headlines. It's not about summary and detail. Okay. So when you open a newspaper, you look at the
Okay.
headlines first. You don't read the whole story or the article, right? So tell me something about yourself is
Yes.
like that. So you would say something like this, that, hi, this is my name. I am from this city. I graduated in this. My major, my bachelor's was in this. If you've done masters, my master's was in that. I have been working as a software engineer for 10 years, whatever years. I specialize in back end and front end. The technologies that I specialize in are this and this. So that's basically the headlines: your name, where you're from, what is your academic background, what is your experience. In your experience, you want to give them the headline. You want to talk about, I have worked as a software engineer for that many years. My work as a software engineer is mostly predominantly focused on front end or back end. The technologies that I have used are this and this. I also work in that. The sectors that I have worked in have only been technology or banking or oil and gas or whatever. So your job, your full experience of what you've done, the technologies that you've worked in, and the sector that you've worked in. And then in my spare time, I read a lot of books. I socialize with my friends. I also play some sport, whatever. And that's it. Because then later on, there will be other questions about your profession. They're going to say, okay, can you tell me something about your last job? What are your responsibilities in your current job or your last job? Then you can go in more detail about what exactly you do as a software engineer. Then you can talk about the projects, the size of those projects that you've worked on, or what were the deliverables, what did you achieve, things like that. There will be a question about, can you tell me what can you do with PHP? Or can you tell me something about this technology? Or can you tell me about a project where you use that technology? So there will be other questions where the detail that you gave about certain things in your roles will come later. So tell me something about yourself is about headlines. And then later on, they're going to ask you more questions to go more detail into those aspects of it.
So is there any specific time in which we should finish this specific question, like tell me something about yourself?
No, because an interview normally would be between 30 to 40 minutes, right? Maximum.
Yes.
Okay. So in those 30 to 40 minutes, mostly averaging 30 minutes, they're going to ask you about 8 to 10 questions. So
yes,
I don't think you should worry about each question and how much time you should give that question. You should always focus on giving an appropriate answer to every question. An appropriate answer means it has to be to the point. So if you're asked a question, you should focus on the question, not go in any further detail, which is either not asked or is not relevant. Okay?
Okay.
So when you say, tell me something about yourself, you're talking about the general broader picture of who you are, what's your experience, what's your education, what are your hobbies, that's it. But when they talk about, tell me something about your last role, then you can talk about the technologies that you worked on or the projects that you worked on.
Okay, basically someone told me that just like you said that we should start from the name and then the educational background and then continue with the profession. But someone told me that on the resume there is already mentioned the name, so there is no need to again repeat the name. So is there any negative impact if we are repeating this?
No, because
this is
most of the things that you will talk about are already written on your resume, right? Most of the things.
Yes.
So it's not about worrying about what's written on the CV. It's about when someone interviews you, they're not interviewing you because they need more information. They want to meet you. They want to meet who you are,
correct.
How you present yourself, how you speak. What's your manner? What are your communication skills? All of those things. They are looking for those things. So when you start your introduction, it would be quite unusual not to mention your name or not to begin with your name, you know? So you have to say, or you can start off by saying, well, thank you for, first of all, inviting me to this interview. You can say that, as you know, I am Ramazan, and I have done my bachelor's from here. Everything that you're going to say, tell me something about yourself, is written on your CV. They know what you've done in bachelor's. They can see your education on your CV. They can see that you've been a software engineer for 10 years or whatever. But it's about how you present the same information, but saying it more presentfully and more appropriately, because they need to see your communication skills. Because this time you're not reading it from a document, you're actually speaking to them. Yeah. So do you want to give another go?
One more. Sorry?
No, please carry on. You were saying?
Yes, basically, one more sentence is like there are people who are starting their introduction with the sentence myself. And there is the sentence like I am, or maybe my name is. So which is correct?
Well, they are all correct depending on the context. It depends on the context. So you can't say myself when you're telling someone your name. You can say my name is Ramzan, right? It depends on the context. Myself would be, you can say things like, my friends play football. However, myself, I like to play cricket. It really depends on what the sentence is. So the use of myself.
Basically, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I got it. So then after one more thing that I am interested to know about is, for example, we are trying to speak publicly, or maybe we are presenting something, and then after we will have some ending to finish that specific talk, and that should be interested. I mean, we should finish in such a way that audience could know about that. Yes, this is about to end. So can you suggest me any specific thing which we should add at the end in terms of content, or in terms of any specific example, or maybe anything else which can make it more interesting?
Well, first of all, the interview is not something that you will end. The interview is normally ended by the person who interviews you. So you got to remember that you are not trying to take control of the interview. You don't want to come across that kind of person. You want to come across as a person who is a good listener, right? Yeah, so you need to listen and you need to respond. You need to react to what they ask rather than be proactive. So I don't think that your question is quite an appropriate question if you're giving an audience. If you're presenting them something about your skill set, or something about the technology that you're, something about the project or the technology that you're working on, that would apply to a presentation, but not in an interview. In an interview, normally they would end the interview by asking you, so do you have any questions for us? So you should always have a question prepared for that.
Okay, so which type of question we should ask to them?
Well,
technical, or maybe interest related, or what?
I think one of the very common things that people ask as a question is that, well, what's your initial feedback about how I came across? So that is a really good question to ask, because first of all, it gives you some initial feedback from the person who interviewed you to let you know what they think about your experience, or about how well they think you could be suitable for this job, things like that. Another question you could ask is that, you know, can you give me some insight and overview of what is the roadmap for this role in the next 2 years, which shows that you want to understand where this role will go. What is the opportunity in this position in terms of seniority, or in terms of growth, professional growth. So the question that you should ask should be related to the position that you're interviewing for and the interview itself, because that is actually what the discussion is about.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to try to give me the answer again about, tell me something about yourself based on the suggestions that I've made?
Yes, sure. Thanks for giving me Thanks for inviting me in this interview. My name is Mohammad Ramzan. I have completed my graduation from Pacific University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. Then after I started my job in Radix Web Software Services. I worked on various projects in which I used various technologies. So my hobbies are reading a lot of books and helping others who are having some technical issues. Yes, this is it.
Okay. You should improve on that. So I think you started correctly. So you said your name, you said your education, then you should say how long you've been working as a software engineer. Then you should say what industry you have worked in, and then you should say what are the main technologies you are experienced in. It has to be your profile.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
That is important. Okay.
Do you want to try again?
Yes, should I try again?
Yes. Would you like to?
Yes, sure. Thanks for inviting me in this interview. My name is Mohammad Ramzan. I am from
to this interview.
Sorry?
To this interview, not in this interview. Thank you for inviting me to this interview.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to this interview. My name is Mohammad Ramzan. I am from India. I have completed my graduation from Pacific University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. I worked in a software company from last 3 years. I have the experience of technologies, web technologies like PHP, React.js, and in mobile app development, I worked on Ionic React. My hobbies are reading a lot of books and helping others who are non-technical. Yeah, this is all about me.
Okay, cool. So, when you say that I graduated from this university, you don't need to tell them the name of the university. What you need to say is that I graduated in computer science. You need to tell them the subject that you graduated in, because the name of the university is not relevant to them. They need to know what's your graduation, what's the subject that you studied. So you would say, I graduated in computer science, or I graduated in whatever, software engineering. So that's one point I would make. I graduated in that. And you can say that I've been working as a software engineer for the last 3 years. You don't need to say in my company. You need to just simply talk about the total number of years that you've worked as a software engineer, even if it's at just one company. So I have worked so far as a software engineer for 3 years. And then you said the technologies that you specialize in. So yeah, just like that. So more structured, more to the point. Yeah, with more focus.
Yes.
Do you know about other questions that they might ask you, which are quite generic?
Yes, one of the question is that they are asking about that. What was the biggest struggling issue which you have worked on?
Yeah,
and how you have completed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would say, tell me something about the biggest challenge that you have faced so far.
Challenge, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how would you describe that? Do you have an answer to that?
Yes, basically I had the answer like I had one task in my training. So in that there was no one who was helping us, because there was the strategy from the head of the department that no other developer will be helping them out in this specific project. So I struggled a lot, and finally I tried to find the solution of that problem. And that was one of the struggling phase of mine, because at that moment I searched on internet, explored lot of things, and always tried to come to the solution. So that was the biggest issue which I challenging issue which I solved.
Okay. So in that, you need to be more specific of what the challenge was. Okay. So right now,
Okay.
you've said that you had a project where you didn't have enough help, and you had to resolve
Okay.
it on your own. That's what you just told me, right? But you need to tell me what was the
Yes.
project. So you need to say we had a project where we had to work on someone's cloud services or whatever, or it was an integration project of the legacy system to cloud services or whatever, right? So you need to first say what
Uh-huh.
the project is. Then you need to say we were given a time limit of that much, whatever. Some detail about the project which shows what was the challenge. So they need to understand
Yes.
what
Yes.
exactly was the challenge that you had to deal with. And then you can say the issue was that we did not have enough manpower, enough people to work on it. It was only a responsibility that was given to me. So I had a lot of workload, and I had to resolve that problem on my own. So it was challenging, but I worked hard and I researched and I managed to complete it on my own. But you need to explain what
Yes.
exactly was the problem, rather than just saying
Yes. That
because
is.
I was alone. You need to say, well, this was the project. It was required to be done in that amount of time. It was really a full man job, but I had to do it on my own.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah.
And one more question is like they are asking for leaving the earlier company. For example, I am working on a company and I am uh, giving the resignation and then trying to join a new company. So in the interview, they are just trying to know about that why you are thinking that company is better than the previous one.
Hmm.
So what should we give the reply?
Well, a good reply would be that, well, I am looking for professional growth. I'm looking to expand in my career. In my current
Mm-hmm.
company, I don't see that I can go any further or learn more, or there isn't that opportunity available in my current company. So I'm open to new opportunities where I can work with a bigger team, work with more senior technologists, and have a roadmap and a potential to grow, or potential to progress in my career. So
Yes, correct,
professional
correct. Yes,
progress
this
is
was also.
first. Yeah. Yeah, so professional progression could be a reason, which would be a positive reason, because that shows that you're ambitious and then you want to basically move forward.
Yes, yes, correct.
What is the actual reason of you
And
leaving?
other than yes, yes. Currently, I am working as a freelancer, so I have my own company currently.
Oh, I
But
see, I see.
earlier, I faced this. Yeah, earlier I faced this type of question, so that's why I told you. And even I cracked that interview, but yes, I was not sure about the structured answer, which you have just explained to me.
If you are a freelancer and if you're going for a permanent job with a company, then your answer has to be different.
Yes.
Because then you're going to say, well, I've been working as a freelancer, as an independent consultant for 3 years. However, now I feel
Uh-huh.
that I need to work in a team and I need more stability in my career. Because in order for me to learn more and in order for me to progress further, I need to work with people that I can learn from. And I would like to have stability of being employed by a company which I can then grow with. And working for a reputable brand will be very good for my career too.
Okay, so one personal question is like, for example, I am working from last 1 year as a freelancer and working on my own projects. So how I will be justifying them that the problem was that when I left my previous company, so I had not enough salary to fulfill my expenses, and there were some responsibilities of my parents and siblings and all. So that's why I thought that I'm getting better opportunity in freelancing work. So that's why I quit that job and started with the freelancing work. So should I mention to them that because of money, I left the previous company and started the freelancing work?
No, you shouldn't say that. You should say, I'm an ambitious person. I'm an entrepreneur. And because of that, I wanted to basically go on my own and I wanted to experience that. So you should use the word as, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm ambitious, and I just wanted to basically have that independence and have that freedom to work with my clients.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after, they will be asking me that why you return back to the company again.
It's not the same company, right?
Yes, not same company, new company.
Yeah. You can say, well, you know, at this stage in my life, if you have a family, you can say I have a family now. Or if you're looking to have a family in future, like getting married or whatever, you can show them that, your personal aspect of your life, that in the coming years, my priorities have changed. I want to have more stability and more focus. So for that reason, I feel that it is time for me to now join a company and be part of a team. So you can use your personal circumstances as something that is now a parallel to becoming a stable employee.
Yes, correct. Yes, this was one of the biggest, sorry, I forgot earlier, but yes, this was the important question for me because in later point of time, if I will be joining a new companies, and then I would have to structure the question so that I could satisfy the person who is taking the interview.
Yes,
that is great.
Yeah, and sometimes honesty is a very good thing. Like, you don't want to say something negative, but if your personal circumstances are encouraging you, or you make you feel that you should do something, you should just tell them, because sometimes the interviewer, people don't just give you the job because you have all the technical skills. They give you the job because they like you as a person and they appreciate your honesty and things like that. So that human factor is very important. It does come into play. So don't be shy about that, and just sometimes it's okay to be honest, and it's okay to tell them that, well, my situation requires me to do that now, and I think it's the right time for me to do that. The time is going to finish. I would just tell you quickly some generic questions. They definitely will ask you, what do you think your strengths are? Okay, so have at least 5 ready to go. Another tricky question that they ask is that, what do you think is your weakness? So that is a tricky one, but if we talk again, we can talk about it a bit more, but that's another generic question that they would ask. Another question, which is quite general, would be to research the company. They would ask you, what do you know about our company, about our products, about our customers? They would also ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yes, correct.
So these are all generic questions, okay?
Yes, sure. So I will be booking a new class with you, and definitely I will be discussing in these questions as well. So thank you
Inshallah.
so much. Yeah, inshallah.
Okay.